to infinity, and beyond the darkest abyss. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 darkest Pixar movie moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be going over the moments from Pixar films that are surprisingly dark and grim for animated family movies. Number 10. Hopper's Death, A Bug's Life.
Hopper! You think it's over? No.
Hopper, the tyrannical leader of a gang of thuggish grasshoppers, is among Pixar's vilest villains. He's a bully of the worst kind, and seeks to control the ant colony and their food supply to make life easier for himself. Yet for all that, we're still unnerved by his death scene. Deathly afraid of birds, the ants initially trick Hopper with a fake bird. However, after the ruse is discovered, Hopper is lured to the nest of a real bird. Initially believing it to be another fake, Hopper soon discovers to his horror that the animal is real, and is then fed alive to the bird's chicks. Even if it happens off-screen, being eaten alive is a grisly death. Number 9. WALL-E's near-death experience, WALL-E. Despite being the tale of an adorable robot, WALL-E and its eponymous character are not without their darker moments. When the ship's robotic autopilot attempts to stop the humans from returning to Earth, WALL-E tries to stop the recall device from closing with his own body, crushing him and leaving him sorely damaged. While his love interest Eve is able to repair him, it seems as though WALL-E has lost all of his memories of her and his personality. Although Eve is able to spark WALL-E's memory, seeing WALL-E nearly die and lose everything that makes him who he is can still be quite traumatic.
WALL-E! WALL-E!
Number 8. Queen Elinor vs. Mor'du, Brave. When Merida accidentally turns her mother into a bear, it's mainly played for laughs at first. As the story unfolds, however, this fantastical premise takes our characters to some surprisingly serious places. The film gets quite dark towards the end when Queen Elinor seeks to protect her daughter from another human-turned bear, Mor'du. The two bears engage in a vicious fight, with roaring and claws aplenty. The conclusion is especially grim, as it ends with Mor'du being crushed to death beneath a giant stone. Number 7. Bing Bong is Forgotten, Inside Out.
We have to get back up there.
Joy was stuck down here.
The imaginary childhood friend of a young girl named Riley, Bing Bong is a lovable fellow who always tries to be helpful, even if he more often proves a hindrance during Joy and Sadness's quest to return to Riley's headquarters.
Hop in.
Although always worried that he'll be forgotten completely, when he and Joy face that very danger, Bing Bong decides to sacrifice himself so that Joy can escape on his wagon rocket, telling Joy to take Riley to the moon for him. The concept of a piece of our childhood figuratively dying before our eyes is a disturbing one, and this won't be the last time this concept is explored on this list.
Take her to the moon for me, okay?
Number 6. The Scream Extractor, Monsters, Inc. While monsters under the bed or in the closet are among the greatest fears for children, the ones depicted in Monsters, Inc. are mostly harmless, and more afraid of kids than kids are of them. Still, the primary human character, nicknamed Boo, experiences some truly grim events. While it was tempting to choose the moment where it looks like she's crushed to death in a trash compactor, our pick had to go to the Scream Extractor, a device created by the villains to forcibly pull the screams that power Monster Society from children's mouths. The idea of Boo, a child being tortured for hours, if not days, weeks, or years by the device, is utterly horrific. Number 5. The Rat Traps, Ratatouille.
We're here.
Remy the Rat's dreams of becoming a chef hit several roadblocks, not the least of which are his own family. His father Django takes him to a pest control store, showing him a window filled with dead rats in traps to dissuade him from his dreams.
Now this is what happens when a rat gets a little too comfortable.
around humans.
While incapable of human speech, rats in the world of the film are still intelligent, which makes seeing a whole window of their corpses on display especially grisly. Also, what the heck, Django? We get you're trying to protect your son, but that's like a human father taking his son to look at dead men who've been hanged. Not cool, man.
This is the way things are. You can't change nature.
Change is nature, Dad.
Number 4. Mr. Incredible discovers the truth of Kronos, The Incredibles. For as colorful as it is, The Incredibles is a surprisingly dark movie in general, with even Edna Mode's famous no capes explanation featuring lots of death. Still, our pick had to go to Mr. Incredible himself investigating the mysterious Kronos project. Quite apart from the forbidding atmosphere and slowly building ominous music, the scene reveals that many of Mr. Incredible's friends and fellow superheroes have been killed by droids similar to the one he was hired to defeat. While it is just faces and names on a computer screen, the fact that so many have been killed by this villainous plot is still incredibly chilling. Number 3. Barracuda Attack, Finding Nemo.
Coral, get inside the house, Coral.
The first part of some Pixar movies can be rough, and one of the most tragic occurs in Finding Nemo. Marlin and Coral are two clownfish who are expectant parents to a clutch of eggs. While having a nice time together, they suddenly notice the sea around them has gone quiet, and they're soon attacked by a barracuda. As Coral tries to save her eggs, Marlin is knocked out in a place out of sight of the savage predator. When Marlin comes to, he finds that all but one of his eggs and his mate are gone, eaten by the barracuda. A dead spouse and dozens of unhatched children would be gut-wrenching for anyone, and it's a dark way to start the film.
Coral.
Number 2. Ernesto the Murderer, Coco.
I only sang your songs because I wanted to keep a part of you alive.
Oh, how generous.
While seeking out his apparent ancestor, Ernesto de la Cruz, a famed Mexican actor, singer, and musician, in the afterlife, young Miguel also encounters Ernesto's old partner Hector. During a confrontation between the three of them, Miguel realizes that Ernesto poisoned and killed Hector when his former partner wanted to return to his family, taking credit for Hector's songs and becoming famous. Given that much of it takes place in the land of the dead, things were bound to be at least a little dark in Coco. But we didn't think Pixar would include murder of all things.
You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to seize your moment.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Kill him.
Number 1. The Incinerator, Toy Story 3.
Woody, look! I can see daylight! We're gonna be okay!
Toy Story is undisputably Pixar's flagship franchise, and fans have watched these beloved characters over the course of decades. The series' third installment saw Woody and the gang face their bleak future, only to find renewed hopes that were dashed and then lifted again throughout the movie. The biggest blow occurs when they're trapped and slowly sinking towards an incinerator. No matter what they try, they can't seem to escape, and ultimately the toys give up, hold hands, and wait for their deaths. Which is just so bleak and existential, we can hardly believe it made the cut. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.